Hello there, it's Mr. Logue. In this lesson, we're going to look at showing information in pie charts, the data that we've gathered about something. Here's the steps to success for showing information in pie charts. Step 1. Show each group within your data as a fraction. Step 2. Simplify each of those fractions. Step 3. Draw an empty pie chart. Step 4, fill in each fraction starting with the greater fractions, for example 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. Step 5, remember to colour code and label your pie chart when you have finished. You will need a compass or something round to draw around and a ruler for this lesson. 24 children voted on the colour of their class t-shirt. You can see here the options were blue, red, yellow and green. Underneath each of those options we have the groups of children who voted for each. So if we have a quick count, we can see that 12 children voted for the blue t-shirt, 2 children voted for the red t-shirt, 6 children voted for the yellow t-shirt, and 4 children voted for the green t-shirt. We need to show this information in a pie chart. Step 1, we need to show each of those groups as a fraction. Here I've written them out in a table. Now we need to show those as a fraction. There were 24 children voting in total. This is going to be the denominator of each fraction. The number on each group will become the numerator. So for the blue, the denominator will be 24, the numerator will be 12. 12 24ths voted for blue. 2 24ths voted for red. 6 24ths voted for yellow. 4 24ths voted for green. We need to simplify these fractions. To simplify fractions, we need to divide the numerator and the denominator by their highest common factor. This will sometimes be the same as the numerator. For instance, if we look at blue, 12 and 24, well, I know that 24 is in the 12 times table, so I can divide 12 and 24 by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 24 divided by 12 is 2. So that fraction in its simplest form is 1/2. I can do the same with red. I'm looking for the highest common factor. 24 is in the 2 times table. It's a multiple of 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. In its simplest form, 2 24ths is 1/12. Yellow, looking for a highest common factor. 24 is in the 6 times table, so I'm going to divide numerator and denominator by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 24 divided by 6 is 4. In its simplest form, 6 24ths is 1/4. And green, looking for the highest common factor. 24 is in the 4 times table. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 24 divided by 4 is 6. In its simplest form, 4 24ths is 1/6. We've now simplified each of those fractions. This next step, we need to draw an empty pie chart. If you have a compass at home to draw a pie chart, you can do that. If Not, you can just get something like a cup or something that you can draw around to draw. Here's those simplified fractions. Step 4, we now need to start filling in each fraction. Now, if we think about a circle and we think about that first fraction, the blue, it's 1/2. So we can draw 1/2. Start with our greatest fraction. So we need to draw a line with our ruler to show 1/2. There's 1/2. Now we can label that to show that 1/2 were the children who chose the 12 blue t-shirts. Let's look at the next greatest fraction. The next greatest fraction is 1/4, who chose yellow. 1/4 is half of a half. So the other half of that pie chart, I'm going to halve it to show 1/4 or 2/4 that you can see. So one of those quarters is the 6 children who chose yellow t-shirts. Now let's think about the final two fractions. 1/6 and 1/12. Well, 1/6 is twice as big a fraction as 1/12. So that remaining section, the section for green vote, needs to be twice as big as the section for red. Draw yourself a line in that's twice as big, and then the section that's the biggest will be for the 4 green t-shirts, and the section that's slightly smaller will be for the 2 red t-shirts. Here's another set of data. This time it's showing how a group of 48 pupils travelled to school. You should pause the video now and have a go at creating the pie chart to show this data. Remember to follow the steps by turning each of those amounts in each group into a fraction. The denominator here will be the amount of pupils who travel to school, which, as you can see, is 48. So the denominator that you will start with will be 48. Pause the video now. I'll show the answer or the completed pie chart on the screen in a moment. Here's what your pie chart should look like. Let's have another go at another one. This time 60 children are at a sports camp and they're choosing sports to play. Remember, your first step is to turn each of those options into a fraction. The denominator this time will be the total amount of children, 60. The numerator will be each of those amounts. Pause the video now, simplify them and draw them in on the pie chart. Here comes the completed pie chart. Right, it's time now for you to gather your own data. I have a suggestion, which is to count the amount of cars of different colours you see when you go for a walk. It will be easier to limit it to 4 or a smaller amount of categories. For example, blue, white, red, and any other colour. Make sure you have a total of the amount of cars before you start to turn your data that you've gathered into fractions so you can draw your pie chart. Hopefully you found this video useful. Bye for now.